All right, so we are starting a new unit. This one is probability. Not something you've covered before, as far as I know, in 6th grade, but something brand new. Probability is the likelihood of something occurring. And you see this most often with stuff like marbles or a spinner or dice, coins, that kind of thing. And so the odds of you getting an event. So, for instance, some vocabulary. Outcomes are possible results from the experiment, and sample space is the set of all possible outcomes, which we'll talk about here and there. And then event is a certain desired outcome. Now, the probability is the likelihood of something happening, and we rank that based from 0 to 1, where if it has a 0% chance of happening, we call it impossible. If it's a 100% chance of happening, we call it certain. And if it's a 50-50 chance of happening, it's equally likely, because 50-50. And then something that may be less than 50% but higher than 0% is unlikely. And something that's bigger, more than 50% but less than 100% is likely. So we're going to talk about different types. The first type is simple probability. This is just the likelihood of something happening, where we take our desired outcome, which is what we want to happen, over the total number of outcomes, and we set up a fraction and simplify. Versus our complement, which is the likelihood of something not occurring, and we'll talk about that in a second. So if we look at number 1, it says, what is the probability of choosing a marble with stripes? And then what is the complement of choosing a striped marble? So for instance, probability, we need to first figure out what is the likelihood of getting a marble with stripes. So if I look at my picture here, I have 2 marbles with stripes. So 2 is going to be my numerator, because that's my desired outcome, and then which is the event that we want to happen, over however many total marbles there are. So in this case, there are 6, and that's my total number of outcomes, so 6. And then what we do is simplify. So for instance, what can go both into 2 and 6? Well, 2 can. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So the likelihood of me pulling out a marble with stripes is 1/3. Now we talk about the complement. This is the likelihood of not getting a striped marble, which means every other marble. And they normally say this right here, stripes with an apostrophe means not stripes. So for instance, how many marbles are not stripes? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is my numerator, and my total number of marbles would be 6. So 6 is still my denominator. Well, then I simplify. 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So the not likelihood of getting stripes, which means everything but stripes, would be 2/3. And if you notice, 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 1, because they are complements of each other. They equal 1. Let's look at number 2. What is the probability of spinning a heart? Well, the first things first is I have to figure out how many hearts there are. So if I look at my wheel here, I have 2 hearts. That's my numerator. Over the total number of possibilities, which is my sample space, I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possibilities that I could land on. So it's 2/7. Well, I can't simplify 2/7, so my answer is just 2/7. Versus me not getting a heart, which is the complement, which is the apostrophe. Not a heart would be everything else but hearts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibilities, over the total number of possibilities, which is still 7. And I can't simplify 5/7 because it just simplifies to 5/7. Notice 2 sevens plus 5 sevens equals 1. And that's it. Look at number 3. A standard number cube, otherwise known as a dice, but on a test they always name it standard number cube, is rolled. What is the probability of, so right here it says P parentheses a 6. Well, if I think about a number cube or a dice, okay, there are 6 sides on a dice, and only one of the sides has a number 6. So 1 is my numerator. Well, total number of sides would be my denominator, which is 6 sides. And I can't simplify 1/6, so my answer is just 1/6. This one says, what is the probability of an odd number? Well, if I think about what numbers are on a 6-sided die, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. So there are 3 possible odd numbers over my total possibilities, which is 6. And I can simplify 3 over 6 by putting 3 into both. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. And so I have probability of getting an odd number is half. And that's it. A laundry basket contains 24 socks. 6 were navy, 10 were black, and the remaining were white. What is the probability of drawing a black sock? Well, first things first, how many black socks were there? There were 10. How many total socks? Well, it tells me right here, laundry basket contained 24. So 24 will be my denominator. I simplify, 2 goes into 10 5 times, 2 goes into 24 12 times, and I can't simplify beyond that. This one says, what is the probability of a white sock? Well, the question didn't tell me anything about the white socks because it says the remaining were white. Well, this is where I have to do a little bit of math. 6 were navy, 10 were black, and the remaining are white. Well, if I know that there were 24 total, I have to figure out how many whites there were, which means I add 10 plus 6, which is 16, and then I subtract 24 minus 16, which would be 8. Oh, no, yeah. Yes, which would be 8. So there would be 8 whites, which means 8 is my numerator over my denominator, which is my total, which was 24. 8 goes into 8 once, and 8 goes into 24 3 times. So the probability of getting white sock is 1/3. The spinner is spun below. What is the probability of spinning not a 6, which means you could also see it 6 with an apostrophe. Not a 6 means everything but 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibilities over the total, which is 7 on my wheel. And I can't simplify 6 over 7. So 6 over 7. Probability of a 3 or a 4. Well, there's a 3 and there's a 4, and that takes up 2 parts on my wheel over the 7 possibilities. And I can't simplify 2 over 7, so it's 2 over 7. An odd number on my wheel, well, my odd numbers would be 1, 3, 5, and 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 possibilities. And then total would be 7. So 4 over 7 doesn't simplify, so my answer is just 4 over 7. The letters in the word soccer are put in a bag randomly and drawn. What is the probability of choosing a vowel? Well, you know your vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So in the word soccer, there are 2 vowels over the total number of letters, which would be 6 in the word soccer. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times, so 1/3. Vowel with an apostrophe, that means not a vowel. Well, everything other than the vowels would be S, C, C, and R. So 1, 2, 3, 4 letters that are not vowels versus all 6, which are the total. Simplify, 2 goes into 4 twice and 2 goes into 6 3 times, which equals 2/3. Probability of the letter C. Well, how many C's are in the word soccer? 2. Over the total number of letters, which would be 6. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So that would have a probability of 1/3 of getting a letter C.